A person once approached Gautam Buddha to ask for guidance in managing his emotions. The individual was seeking for a better approach to control his emotions because he was having trouble controlling his anger and irritation. Buddha asked him to have a seat, grinning. "I'll tell you a story," he declared. There once was a monarch who presided over a wealthy nation. He made the decision to go to the nearby kingdom one day. He was informed that the monarch of that realm was renowned for his sagacity. The king was greeted with great reverence upon his arrival. In his honor, the monarch of the adjacent kingdom had organized a sumptuous feast. The monarch discovered a fly in his soup during the feast. Disgusted, he gave his servant the order to bring him another bowl of soup. Upon observing this, the monarch of the adjacent realm pleaded with His Majesty not to become enraged. "It doesn't matter, it was just a tiny fly." "I cannot tolerate such things," the monarch retorted. "I can be depressed by even a tiny insect." With a smile, the king of the adjacent kingdom replied, "Your Majesty, allow me to offer you some advice. Your attitude was damaged by your response to the fly, not by the fly itself. Do not allow your emotions to rule you. You are in charge of them." After realizing the wisdom in these comments, the king left and went back to his realm. He began working on the skill of not reacting to circumstances that used to make him feel something after that day. He discovered that he could remain composed under pressure and that he could make wiser choices. We should all learn the importance of staying silent. We frequently respond to events without giving them much thought, which might have unfavorable effects. Anger and frustration, fueled reactions to events, can strain our interpersonal connections and impair our capacity for reasoned decision-making. It's crucial to realize, though, that remaining silent does not imply that we have to repress our feelings. It's critical to recognize that emotions are a normal aspect of the human experience. Instead of reacting impulsively, we should take the time to process our emotions and respond in a thoughtful manner. In another part of the world, there lived a young man named Michael. He was a very emotional person and often reacted impulsively to situations that upset him. He would get angry and say hurtful things, which would lead to arguments and hurt feelings. One day, Michael decided to take control of his emotions. He knew that his impulsive reactions were causing more harm than good, and he wanted to change. He started practicing mindfulness and meditation, which helped him become more aware of his thoughts and emotions. He also started practicing the art of not reacting. Whenever he found himself in a situation that would normally trigger his emotions, he would take a step back and take a few deep breaths. He would then assess the situation calmly and respond in a thoughtful manner. At first, it was difficult for Michael to control his emotions. He would still get angry and frustrated, but he would take a step back and not react impulsively. As he continued to practice, he found that it became easier to control his emotions. Michael also noticed that his relationships with others improved. He was no longer getting into arguments and hurting people's feelings. Instead, he was able to communicate in a calm and thoughtful manner, which helped him build stronger relationships. One day, Michael's friend came to him for advice. His friend was going through a difficult time and was feeling very upset. Michael listened to his friend's problems and offered words of comfort and support. His friend thanked him and said, "You always know just what to say. You never get angry or upset." Michael smiled and replied, "It's not that I never feel angry or upset. It's just that I've learned to control my emotions and not let them control me. It's a powerful tool that has helped me improve my relationships and my overall well-being." Michael's friend was impressed and asked him how he learned to control his emotions. Michael shared his experience with mindfulness and the power of not reacting. He encouraged his friend to try it out for himself, and his friend was grateful for the advice. Over time, Michael became known for his calm and thoughtful demeanor. He was able to handle difficult situations with ease, and people admired him for his strength and resilience. He continued to practice mindfulness and the art of not reacting, and he found that it brought him a sense of inner peace and happiness. The power of not reacting is a valuable lesson that we can all learn from. It takes practice and patience, but the rewards are well worth it. By controlling our emotions, we can improve our relationships, make better decisions, and live a more fulfilling life. The lesson from the king and Michael's narrative is that we are capable of managing our emotions. Even while we have no control over what happens to us, we do have power over how we respond to it. We can learn to regulate our emotions and respond thoughtfully by engaging in mindfulness practices and learning the skill of not reacting. It's an effective tool that we may use to enhance our relationships, general quality of life, and well-being. So let us take the time to practice and cultivate this powerful skill and let it transform our lives for the better. Anger will never disappear so long as thoughts of resentment are cherished in the mind. Anger will disappear just as soon as thoughts of resentment are forgotten. He who holds back rising anger like a rolling chariot hears my call. A real driver over others, people are, but holding the reins. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. One who conquers himself is greater than another who conquers 1,000 times 1,000 on the battlefield. Do not be led by your reactions, be led by your actions. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. In a controversy, the instant we feel anger, we have already ceased striving for the truth and have begun striving for ourselves. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. You will not be punished for your anger. You will be punished by your anger. The root of suffering is attachment. If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. Letting go gives us freedom, and freedom is the only condition for happiness. If in our heart we still cling to anything, anger, anxiety, or possessions, we cannot be free. Better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace. All that we are is the result of what we have thought. Respond, don't react. Respond with reason, not emotion. In the end, only 3 things matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. He who experiences the unity of life sees his own self in all beings and all beings in his own self, and looks on everything with an impartial eye. Happiness never decreases by being shared. We are shaped by our thoughts. We become what we think. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. 3 things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. The only way to find true happiness is to let go of your attachment to things and people. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. It is a man's own mind, not his enemy or foe, that lures him into evil ways. An idea that is developed and put into action is more important than an idea that exists only as an idea. There is no fire like passion, there is no shark like hatred, there is no snare like folly, there is no torrent like greed. What we think, we become. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make the world. If you want to fly, you have to give up what weighs you down. If you want to change the world, change yourself first. Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. The trouble is, you think you have time. The mind is like water. When it's turbulent, it's difficult to see. When it's calm, everything becomes clear. The tongue, like a sharp knife, kills without drawing blood. Do not seek to follow in the footsteps of the wise. Seek what they sought. One's own actions determine one's purity or impurity. No one can purify another. Let's get up and express our gratitude for what little, if anything, we were able to learn today. At least we avoided getting sick, even if we didn't learn anything new. And at least we survived if we were ill. So let's all express gratitude. Being untrue to what one believes to be true is the only true failure in life. The future has not yet arrived, and the past is already gone. You only have just one moment to live. Being careless is a quick route to disaster, whereas being industrious is a way of life. While the clever are industrious, the foolish are indolent. This is an everlasting rule. Hatred cannot end by hatred alone. Only love can do so. A monk's awareness tends to incline toward whatever it is that he continues to think about and contemplate. Focus your thoughts on the here and now, rather than daydreaming about the past or the future. Everything is in the mind. You become what you think. Never expect for someone else to be a century older than yourself. Loving what you do is the only way to produce excellent work. Continue searching if you haven't found it yet. Avoid settling. Like everything that concerns the heart, you'll know when you've found it. The greatest accomplishment in life is not never falling, but rather getting back up after each setback. We must save ourselves, no one else. No one may, nor can they. We have to follow the route ourselves. Before we wrap up today's journey through wisdom and reflection on wisdom in words, I want to express my sincere gratitude to each and every one of you. Your presence here is what makes this community so special, and I'm truly thankful for the opportunity to share these moments of insight with you. If you resonated with the stories, quotes, and reflections we explored today, I'd love for you to become a part of our growing community. Don't forget to subscribe and click on that notification bell so you stay connected and never miss out on the wisdom we delve into together. Your support fuels the heart of this channel and encourages the exploration of profound ideas and the celebration of words that inspire. And as we continue this journey, I want to hear from you. Share your thoughts, your favorite quotes, or any topics you'd like us to explore in the comments below. Wisdom is a gift we give not only to ourselves, but to those around us. By subscribing, you're not just joining a channel, you're becoming a part of a community that values the power of words and the pursuit of understanding. As we part ways for now, remember that every word carries its own wisdom. Take care, stay inspired, and may your days be filled with moments of profound insight. Thank you, and I look forward to our continued journey together.